Hey, Spence.
Yeah, Shane?
Have you seen the Christmas classic, Miracle on 34th Street?
No. No, I haven't.
Well... Now you have.
I have. We watched it, and before we watched it, Shane looked at me, and I'm going to do it to the camera. The camera's me, right? So Shane went, "Are you ready to be filled with Yuletide cheer?" Just like that. It was crazy. It felt like a threat.
Yeah. Oh, it
More
is.
than anything.
Oh, it's a threat.
Okay, cool.
So
Good to know. The movie makes way more sense now.
After the movie, have you been filled with Yuletide cheer?
I definitely was. You had mentioned that this movie was like criminally underrated.
Yeah.
And I knew like nothing about it. My mom had seen it.
Yeah.
And I think my mom likes it.
Yeah.
But like, it's old, so it was never
Yeah.
like on my list as a child.
Right.
But it's good. It's real sweet.
As Spencer mentioned, I believe this movie is not only criminally underrated as a Christmas movie, I just think it's criminally underrated as a movie. I think this movie is incredibly good and incredibly timeless. But before we get into all that, I figured we could like just start up top with like a little bit about how we do our Christmas traditions, talk a little bit about how we engage with Christmas. So, Spencer, how do you like Christmas?
Mostly I'm fighting off panic attacks with a torch. Is basically my methodology here. You know this about me. Christmas is like, I love it. It's super fun to be around people and see all the fun, crazy festivities, lots of good food, all that kind of stuff. It's just also stressful for me. Like I struggle really bad with like anxiety and social anxiety, crowd anxiety.
Right.
So a lot of my Christmas memories are tied with a little bit of anxiety.
Right.
But no, some of the stuff we do, I mean, we this is an interesting one. So like growing up, we didn't mail letters to Santa. Mm-hmm. We would burn them.
Ooh.
So I think this is like a deep South Texas thing, but we would read them all off, and then we would put them in a fireplace or go out and burn them.
Yeah.
And like the smoke signals would go to Santa.
That
or
is
whatever.
adorable. That's way better than them going to the dead letter office.
Yeah, right. Like, so it's just interesting, and maybe that's where that started.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of the weirder one, I think, of what we would do. In terms of traditions, a lot of food. Every Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve dinner, my dad makes homemade pizza.
Oh, we love
and
it.
Whew, it'll go to town with any pizza I've ever had.
That man can cook.
That man can cook.
Yeah.
So he'll do that, and then Christmas morning, we would get up and we would open Santa presents, right? Like that, the stockings and that kind of stuff. And we would do that, and then we would pause presents, all the rest of the presents from like siblings and parents or whatever, and we would go, and my dad also makes these big cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Like they calls them a breakfast roll. They're massive. They're unbelievably good, and we all fight over who gets the center.
That's the best part.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
So that is like the big one that's always fun. Sibling gifts, we do drawings, we'll like draw, and each of us will get a random sibling every year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to, everybody has to buy everybody else presents.
Yeah.
Nice.
That way it's just a little bit cheaper for everybody, you know, and you get something like specific for a person. You're not just like, whoa, here's a gift card. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, but yeah. Me and my little brother have like a gift war thing, like a lifelong gift war thing, where I got him something like meaningful once, and then he got me something meaningful, and then it turned into just this insane, like stressful thing.
It went from something nice and sweet to now it kind of sucks a little.
A little, yeah. I don't have him this year, so
Right.
we're okay.
Yeah.
But no, that's kind of what we would do. Yeah, Christmas. Oh, the other thing is we don't just like open all the gifts. We like take turns and hand them out and watch, and I love it because I love like seeing what everyone gets and talking and having a good time. So we'll just sit in a big circle and like one at a time do it, and it's super fun. That's one of my favorite parts of Christmas, is just like on multiple occasions my father has gotten people gifts that have made them cry.
Yeah.
Maybe have made me cry. I wasn't getting the gift. It was just the thoughtfulness of what he gave to someone else that I went, all right, I'm gonna look away real fast.
No part of that surprises me at all. That man is the sweetest man currently living.
He is amazing. My mom is always like really good about surprises. Like she always likes to play up the surprise of it, which is so sweet and fun.
I
Like
love it.
she's still like, we're all of her kids are adults now, but she's still so into the like, I want to surprise them and do all the fun stuff. It's really
That's so
very
sweet.
fun.
So sweet.
How about you?
Yeah, mine is I mean, like with all, I think like, you know, with all people in our generation, I think it's pretty similar. That being said, like for my family, Christmas Day is not the main show, it's Christmas Eve. Cause like Christmas Day is just a little bit more like formal and stressful and stuffy, where Christmas Eve is like our time as like us, like our family. And so what we've done since we were like little was we would all just be in pajamas like all day long, eat nothing but junk food and candy and like sweets and stuff all day long. And then we would just watch like from dawn till dusk, do nothing but watch Christmas movies. Like I usually don't watch many Christmas movies throughout the month of December. I save all my Christmas movie watching for Christmas Eve. We have like we've been buying like ever since then. We've been buying like, you know, we started with like VHS and then we moved to like DVDs, and now we've got like, I've slowly been like getting my parents up to date on the Blu-rays of all the Christmas movies that we watch. Like every year I'll buy like one or two that we don't have on Blu-ray yet, and kind of those will be kind of like a quiet gift for my parents, and more for like everybody, just so we can watch it on like, you know, my parents have like an OLED, so I want to make sure it like looks good.
Yeah.
And so like
The nerdiest cinema thing.
yeah, literally. It's like nobody else gives a shit.
We can't
like,
watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas in 1080p.
That's so funny because that's like one of the ones that's still on
Yeah, right.
DVD that
That's
I
so
need to get
funny.
on Blu-ray. Because the DVD is also, it's How the Grinch Stole Christmas and Horton Hears a Who. So that's one that definitely needs to get upgraded.
Yeah.
But yeah, like movies have always been a very large part of not only my Christmas, but my family's Christmas. Like every year we watch Miracle on 34th Street, which we'll talk about. We watch, we haven't always watched It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life has not been like a big thing for my family. Like I know my mom really loves it, but nobody else really in my family likes it the same way that me and my mom do. Another movie that she really loves that as a kid we couldn't stand because it's like 3 hours long is the like 1970s or 80s Scrooge with Albert Finney, the musical. Because seriously, it's like 3 hours long, but it is phenomenal. Like I want to go back and watch it sometime soon because it really is a very good. It's a really great, you know, a really great rendition of the, you know, Christmas Carol story. But like movies have always been a huge part. Like for the longest time, the movie that we like literally would watch last, it was the one we would always save for last, would be A Christmas Story. Like that one's always been like my family's favorite. Over the past few years, we've kind of like grown a little tired of it.
Yeah.
Like we've just seen it too many times, now, especially
for
since
sure.
it's on TBS all day long on Christmas Day. And so it's like we'd watch it Christmas Eve and then it would just be on the TV all day Christmas Day. And so like because of that, we're a little Christmas storied out. And then so like what's kind of taken its place has been Miracle on 34th Street and like Elf. Like those are usually kind of our go-tos. But we always watch we'll watch one of the Rankin Bass claymation. Usually it'll be Rudolph, but sometimes
Slightly horrifying.
yeah, like sometimes we'll throw like Santa Claus is Coming to Town or one of those. Like the absolute pinnacle is Rudolph.
Yeah.
But we always watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original. My parents don't like the Jim Carrey version, but I do. I think that one's like, I don't think it's like
All
a
right,
cinematic
wait, let's
masterpiece,
pause.
but it is a good movie.
Let's get your parents over. Let's just throw it on the TV.
Let's sit them down. We'll get the whiteboard out and tell them how they're wrong.
Explain it to them. There's a whiteboard right there. I'm pointing at it. No, I love How the Grinch Stole Christmas,
Yeah.
the Jim Carrey one. This is not me being like funny. I get it's like an off-putting movie or whatever, and it's abrasive.
Yeah.
But Jim Carrey gives like legitimately a brilliant comedic performance in that
Right.
movie. He lost his mind doing it because the makeup took so long.
Yeah.
Which is why it was so zesty.
Yeah.
But I love that movie. For a long time, that was like one of the few, if not the only one I watched every year. And I kind of don't do that anymore. But
Right. the craziest story of all time is the fact that Jim Carrey went from Man on the Moon straight into How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Like his like weirdest, methodiest, like craziest performance in Man on the Moon to like maybe his like biggest, broadest like comedy performance to date. Like, I don't know, man. That like just going from one to the next.
It's
like
polar
one is like
opposites.
honestly like a little cynical, almost to like the least cynical, like most like Hollywood ass movie. It's just wild.
That
just
is
a
crazy.
wild 1-2 punch.
That movie rules, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, not Man on the Moon. I haven't seen Man on the Moon.
Yeah,
But
that's on the list.
uh,
It's on the list.
along
Man
with
on the Moon and the
the documentary.
Jim and Andy.
Yeah.
Those are incredibly. That'll be an incredibly weird episode. Those are
I'm
weird
super.
movies.
I want to do that one soon because I really want to see the documentary specifically.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Christmas.
Back to Christmas.
Yeah, movies like definitely Christmas movies are an interesting conversation. I'm kind of a bah humbug kind of guy a lot of the
Yeah.
time where it's like I just don't get in the Christmas mood.
Yeah.
I love decorating a Christmas tree. That's really fun. Like, you know what I mean? It's a good time. The food that comes along with Christmas is great. But like when it comes to movies, I don't have like that list like y'all have. I definitely have ones I really like. Elf being kind of the one that I end up watching every year. Directed by Jon Favreau, by the way. We love Johnny Favs on this
we love
pod.
Johnny Favs. He's been missing a couple recently, but we're
Hey
rooting
man,
for him.
I'll still hold that Jungle Book is really good.
Yeah.
Jungle Book's really cool at the very least.
Yeah.
And The Mandalorian's, for all of its faults, is very cool.
I'm kind of specifically talking about Lion King.
Yeah,
but,
Lion
like,
King ain't it, but photoreal CGI is so boring to me. There are really cool. Love, Death, and Robots is a really cool implication of that technology, but.
Yeah.
Why do I want to watch animals? I want to see whatever. It doesn't matter. The only now as an adult, the only Christmas movie I watch every single year, no matter what, is Die Hard.
Yeah.
It's the only one. And Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Which we'll talk more about that in the B segment.
It's just a Christmas movie. Also, I'm wearing a Star Wars themed Christmas sweater, and Shane is not. We prepared.
I don't have a Star Wars themed Christmas sweater. So you can't blame me for not wearing one.
I do a little bit. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no. Growing up, It's a Wonderful Life is one of my favorite movies. Also,
Yeah.
It's my dad's favorite movie ever.
Yeah.
If you watch that movie and don't bawl your eyes out every time, you might not be human.
Yeah.
You might be a different thing.
Yeah. You might be a redneck. if you don't bawl when you're watching It's a Wonderful Life, you might be a redneck. Okay, sorry for that one. All
It
right.
was terrible.
I loved it though.
I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Yeah.
But no, It's a Wonderful Life is the one that we used to try to watch it every single year, and that's kind of faded off, but I really push it because I just love that movie.
Oh, I have definitely been doing the same now. It's like now, like with Megan being Megan, like that is her family's like favorite movie as a
Yeah.
family. They watch it every year. Megan knows literally every single line to the movie, and me and Megan will quote it year round.
Yeah.
Literally, like year round.
It's that end. It's George Bailey, the richest man in town, and I legitimately like crocodile tears it's not just like a little tear up.
Yeah.
I bawl. It's so good.
Every year.
Anyway, that aside, I've now been introduced to a new one,
Yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street,
Yeah.
which is shockingly funny.
Yeah. Like, so as we kind of do with each of these, like you mentioned you didn't really know much about it. Was there anything else, like any thoughts or feelings or fears you had going in?
I mean, I knew they put Santa on trial.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of it.
Yeah.
I was worried I wasn't going to like it because you love it so much. I was
Yeah.
worried at the end I was going to be like, bah humbug a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was good. I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, I think I
I
definitely
don't like your tone.
No, I looked at you. It's the scene when the little girl from
Denmark.
can't talk to him, and
I could be wrong about Denmark. Please don't at me.
this
I've
is-
been wrong before. I will
This
be
is
wrong
one of your
again.
favorite movies, really? No, it's that scene and the mom's like, oh, we know you won't be able to talk to her, but we want to, you know, whatever. And he starts speaking in Danish. And it's like, that was where I looked at you and was like, one Yuletide cheer for me, please. Like,
it's so sweet.
It's her little smile and then jumping on it. Like, I thought that was like, honestly, maybe the most emotional I got in the whole movie was that scene.
Yeah.
And that would be my only like interesting quandary is it's like it's really focused on being funny, but there's not that George Bailey, the richest man in town moment, but it's not trying to be. And so there's this like
it has like a ton of heart though. Like even at the end, it has a ton of heart.
Just super heart-filled. And yeah, the whole ending where she's like, I believe, even though it's stupid, it's silly. It's like, oh, kid, you know. And he's maybe really Santa Claus. Like, super fun because the whole movie I was waiting for that. I was waiting for it to be like, oh, he really is.
Yeah.
And then maybe he is.
Yeah.
What is your thought? Is he the real Santa?
I was just about to ask you, do you think he's the real Santa Claus or not?
Do I want to believe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fun if he is.
Yeah.
Like I think it creates weird issues with the movie of him like, what is Santa in this world where he's like telling parents to go buy, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it confuses the lore of the canon of Santa, but it's also like that old man is so wonderful and funny and I want him to be the real Santa Claus.
Yeah. I don't think he has to be. I don't think he has to be the real Santa.
I don't think he has to be. I think the movie completely. It's just one of those weird things where it's like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if this was the real Santa?
Yeah.
And he was just like hanging out in New York for a while.
I legitimately love that they don't make an argument. Like the movie does. Like if the movie does what the movie is playing by its own rules, where it's like the movie is about like making everyday people believe that this is Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Just by using like social proof that this guy, if there was a Santa Claus, it would look and feel exactly like this man.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do the thing of like looks right in the camera and winks like, and there's the reindeer.
Yeah, you
like,
don't see him going off.
We never see it. I love that. I love that decision.
Well, I think the movie is kind of ahead of its time in a few ways. Like you were talking about right after it ended, it's kind of super anti-capitalism.
Yeah.
In an interesting, in a very casual way, where I looked at you and I said, tricking businesses into being generous.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to do it.
Legitimately.
Either that or forcing them, but that's a whole separate issue.
On this episode, we get political. That's what Christmas is about. No, I like that. In like I said, shockingly funny. Like even like you pointed out, like by today's standards, still funny.
Yeah,
like the scene when he calls the guy to the stand, and it's for half a second, you're like, he's calling the other lawyer, the defense attorney or the prosecuting attorney to the stand. He's like, what are you? And he goes, Junior. And they look over and he's calling his son to the stand.
And the wife pulls up the subpoena.
The subpoena like shrugs. And it's like just a quiet little joke. Like it's so good. That was maybe the funniest thing in the movie to me.
Like every child performance in this movie
Adorable.
Is also phenomenal.
They're all like having the best time. And also
Natalie Wood is phenomenal in this movie. She is so good in this movie. Like I love this movie with every fiber of my being.
I see why. I get it.
I think this movie it is surpassingly timeless. Where it's like I think the jokes land just as well. Like they're even surprising, like the jokes about getting his wife drunk so she'll be more like welcome to Santa Claus coming and living in her house. Like jokes like that, which like I feel like wouldn't have been made in 1947.
No,
but like they feel
Santa being drunk at the Macy's Day Parade. Which, by the way, this is the funniest experience I had with the movie, where I was a little bit when that happened and he's like narking on Santa for being drunk. I was like, screw you, man. It's cold out. What's a fella supposed to do to stay warm?
A fella's got to do something to stay warm.
That's actually a really good impression.
That dude's voice, like, it just rings in my head as you fall
asleep at night. You're just like,
his voice is so great. Yeah, I just like the commentary of the movie. It's like that every year, like corporations and huge businesses try to get you focused more and more and more on the commercial, on getting businesses trying to be in the black. Like it is so focused on the consumerism around Christmas that you're not focused on being around your family.
And like what I was going to say with that is like, in spite of the fact that he's narking on a guy in like a like, you know what I mean? Like there was a little piece of me that was like, don't narc on him. He's just hanging out. And then the movie makes you fall in love with the guy, and you're like, okay, I get it. He's the stuff with the janitor kid. I also love. I love when somebody takes like a misfit under their wing and kind of just like, and treats them not like they're taking someone under their wing, treats them like a genuine person and compassion like that. Honestly, and when he got so angry that the guy, that was another thing I thought was crazy. He like walks and he's like, I have great respect for psychiatry. But not for charlatans like you who use it as a weapon.
Meddling amateurs.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
That is great. Like, I love that. And I loved how angry he got in defense of his friend. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, no, how dare you put this wonderful man down? Or kid down.
Absolutely goes to bat for everyone. Yeah. For anyone and everyone.
It really is wonderful. I mean, all the stuff with his his employment card. Where he's like next of kin, Donner, Blitzen.
My favorite joke, I don't know, my favorite joke on that card is like age. As old as my tongue and a little older than my teeth is like good. Such a funny way of describing your age. I had never heard that before this movie, and I will never forget it.
I love the commitment, just as a filmmaking thing, the commitment to holding on that card. Yeah. Because they hold on it for like 45 seconds.
They want you to read every word
because they know it's funny.
Yeah, because they know it's good.
And I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like the comedy of it, like I also love the joke. He's like, oh, are you done? Like turn out the lights. And he's like, whoa, pal. Yeah. I got the perfect, everyone wonders, does Santa sleep with the whiskers in or out? He's like out.
Helps them grow.
The cold air helps them grow.
Dude,
he's so good.
That actor, I need to pull up Letterboxd. I need to name him by name. When I think of Santa Claus, I think of him.
You don't think of Tim Allen? Did I just disrespect you to your very core?
This man just said Tim Allen. So when he says I have a film degree, think of that when he's talking. When the next time he says anything about his film degree, think about how worthless it actually is. That was incredibly harsh.
Harsh, condescending. My feelings are a little hurt.
Just don't ever bring up Edmund Gwenn. Phenomenal. Literally.
He's so good.
Like he is who I think of when I think of Santa Claus.
He radiates like when he reads the letter from them where she's like, I believe in you too. Yeah. It's like, oh man. Yeah. Heartstrings.
Everything with Doris's character. I love what they did with her. You know what I mean? Like to like have this cynic raising this cynic child.
The cynic child bit is what I love about the dynamic. It's like, this is so, because look, there's a conflict thing here, right? Where anyone would tell you with any knowledge of like child development, be like, telling your kid Santa's real is maybe bad and maybe will cause trust issues subconsciously. Because like, well, there's the prevailing theory is like, you lied to me about Santa? Now, that's not every kid. It's just a thing that can happen.
Yeah.
And so she's right. She's like, I think you should be realistic. It's like, yeah, you're making like kind of a valid point.
Yeah.
But you're also like, let the kid believe in Santa Claus.
Right.
Like, he's a wonderful, wonderful man.
Yeah.
It's funny. I like it. And again, that's one of those weirdly like, what movie back in the day was doing that?
Yeah.
It's so good.
I mean, I like what they did with her as like why she would be distrusting of these fairy tales. Like, I mean, it ties to her and like obviously like her issues with a previous husband, you know what I mean? Like when she's talking to I need to remember these. I should have these characters' names in the like I should know them like the back
tattooed
of my
on your chest, correct.
When she's talking to Fred Gailey, when she's talking to the lawyer, and she's like talking about how she doesn't want her daughter believing in fairy tales, like one day Prince Charming is going to show up and then it turns out he's just like every other guy, and then he's like, I thought we were talking about her.
Yeah.
I was like that. I was like, dude, that's a cold line. I think this movie plays a lot with stuff like, I mean, like with psychiatry and divorce and like a lot of the joke. Like it's just feels so like current.
Well, and his character I like too because it feels like there should be the subplot of him actually just trying to get with the mom.
Yeah.
But he like genuinely likes her as a person and as, you know, all those things. He likes her kid. Cause have you seen the movie Sweet Home Alabama?
Have I seen 15 minutes? Like, has it been on in the room while I was alive?
Yes. I've seen it once. The movie's pretty funny.
Yeah.
if it's the one I'm remembering, there's like the love interest thing where she goes back home, but she's engaged. But maybe that is not, maybe that's not the right one I'm remembering. But I remember it being like this really interesting thing after I watched that movie in high school or whatever. I was like, oh, like the person she was engaged to was just like a good person. Like it wasn't that. Like it wasn't that like screw this guy, go with him. It was like he's a good dude. He's just like a good guy. And I like that idea in this movie too, of it being like the whole time he's just trying to help, and he's like genuinely trying to help Kris Kringle. And I love that he defends him, and he's like, they told me if I didn't drop the case, I'd be out of there, so I quit. And you're like, oh, look at you.
It's like, and what kind of cases are you gonna like? Probably a lot of like people like him, misfits, people who are being stepped on by the big. I was like, king. This is king shit right here.
Shit.
Absolute king shit. Like I think this movie is like. In like every time I watch it, ever since I've been like a teenager and like actually been able to critically look at things, every time I watch it, I pick up new things, pick up jokes in the background that you wouldn't notice, like just how stuffed the elevator is every single time they get in and out of it. And like occasionally they're like jostling and like there are so many little jokes and little lines and little subtleties that I pick up on every single time I watch it. And I don't feel the same way about certain other movies. Like I think this movie is incredibly like way more layered than people give it credit for.
I'll agree with that. And obviously I've only seen it once, but like I see what you mean. Like it feels ahead of its time, and it feels, I mean, any good comedy movie will not, the best joke is usually like in the background, like you said. Like there's always like just a little funny thing about the world. Yeah. Specifically in like animated comedy. Right. So it's fun to see that in live action comedy. It doesn't happen. We don't get that many just straight comedies anymore. Right. But like, this is a cool one, and I definitely will watch it again. Yeah. Which I think is the test of it. Because it's like 96 minutes long. It's not a commitment to watch it. It's a quick in and out, make you feel good. Yeah. Make you feel a Yuletide cheer. At least one Yuletide cheer, if not 5 Yuletide cheers.
This is true.
And 5 Yuletide cheers, let me tell you, is a lot of Yuletide cheers. Let me tell you,
it fills my my heart is literally bursting.
It's actually better. You should take some antacids.
I've got an engorged heart. I have to get a doctor to look at it. It literally pains me to breathe.
Just off camera, you're hooked up to a machine.
You can hear the beeps in the background.
It's just jingle bells. Anyway,
rules, man. I think, like I said, I think it is incredibly underrated. I think it should be like, this is my Christmas movie hot take. It's not the best Christmas movie because It's a Wonderful Life, but it is my favorite. Like it is at the absolute top of my list. That is the one that I could miss watching It's a Wonderful Life. I cannot miss watching.
Could I tell you that here's my thing. I was talking to you about like Die Hard and It's a Wonderful Life are on my like all-time favorite movies list. I think I could watch It's a Wonderful Life any time of the year. Yeah. Genuinely, I think I could. I mean, that movie is so intrinsically like Christmassy, but like I could watch it in the middle of the summer. Yeah. Miracle on 34th Street's like Christmas. You watch this at Christmas time. Yeah. And which, by the way, not a bad thing. I'm just saying it's like, in terms of like movies that make me think of Christmas, this one even more than like It's a Wonderful Life makes me think Christmas.
That being said, It's a Wonderful Life, like 90% of the runtime is not spent at Christmas.
Exactly. It's like, it's a movie about so much. Right. And then Christmas is just part of it. Yeah. Whereas A Miracle on 34th Street tackles the idea of Christmas and belief and belief in like a figure of good. Like I love that they talk about his delusion being one to do good, and it's like that's really kind of a beautiful sentiment, and I love that. Yeah. And maybe my favorite like weird sub thing in the movie is just this guy who is maybe or maybe not delusioned, but it's for good. It's such an uncynical take on anything, and I like that. I think that's really sweet, and the world could use more of it. You know what I mean?
I completely agree with that.
Anyway, is there anything else you want to talk about with this one, or?
Not particularly. I just like my job with this one was to let the world know just how good of a freaking Christmas movie and how good of a movie this is. Like you say, like this is on my like I have a list on Letterboxd of my top 50.
Follow us on Letterboxd.
Follow us on Letterboxd. We're really cool on there. We have a lot of funny reviews. We do. We do. It's on Miracle on 34th Street is on my top 50.
Yeah.
Like it is on my list of top 50 favorite movies of all time. Because it just like means, and like, look, is a large part of that nostalgia. I can't deny that like a lot of my love for this movie is because of my family and because of like how this is so attached to the memories of me and my family like hanging out on Christmas Eve. Like I fully admit that. That being said, I do think it should be in conversation more than it is.
Look, that being, I hear this all the time. I hear people being like, "Oh, it's nostalgia that makes you like them." And it's like, or sometimes something is just meaningful to you.
Yeah.
Like past nostalgia, I think, you know what I mean? Like nostalgia obviously means meaning something to you from your childhood, but like, I also think this is just a legitimately good movie.
Yeah.
I think it is perfectly valid for you just to love it. You know what I mean? I don't think it has to be chopped up to like so much of it's nostalgia. That may be true, but also I don't think for anyone wanting to watch this and thinking about watching this, I don't think it's just nostalgia that makes you love it.
Oh,
I think it's so much more than that.
I completely agree with that. What I'm saying is like the reason it's on my top 50 is because it is so intrinsically a part of me as a person and my family. That being said, I also think like it is a legitimately good movie and is a better movie than people give it credit.
Yeah.
Like I think it should be more in conversation more as a classic Christmas movie. And I have a thought like I have not seen I think it's 1994 or 5. I can't remember when.
4.
I haven't seen that version. I think two things have maybe hurt it as hurt its legacy. That version, which I don't know any like the fact that there's a newer version and it's probably not as good. I can't imagine it being as good as the original. I've never heard it talked about, but I've heard people talk about the original. Is like I think that may have hurt its legacy at least slightly. So like if new people are to jump onto the Miracle on 34th Street train, they might be like, oh, there's a new one. I'll watch that one. It's like maybe that'll be the better version. It's like no. And then they also made a really bad colorized version, and I think that also hurts it because I don't think the colorized version is good. I don't think it does it any justice.
Yeah.
Because like colorized versions of movies are incredibly weird to me.
Which is, I agree. We had this conversation very recently where it's like black and white feels ageless.
Yeah.
Like it has this ageless quality to it, even if like the camera work and stuff feels so of its time.
Yeah.
If it's in black and white, there's still part of me that's like, damn, that just looks good. Like
Yeah.
I just love it. Which is so funny that black and white people are like, I can't watch black and white movies. Like, you should though.
Yeah.
Like they're awesome. There's so many good ones.
Yeah. It's like I think the thought process was like, oh, well, people only want to watch colored movies now. It's like, and so like we'll make this movie a colored movie, and then people want to watch it more. It's like people. I don't think that's the barrier.
Well, I mean, when you think back to Charlie Chaplin, when the talkies came out, he
Right.
still made silent pictures for a
Right.
while, and
like I don't think that's the barrier to why people don't watch black and white movies. I think it's because like they just like because you know
they're Dumbo idiots.
Well, so I just think certain movies haven't aged that well. Like they're about issues and things that were happening of its time, and that's by no means a issue of the filmmaking or anything like that. It's like there are going to be movies that are being made right now that won't make sense 30 years from now just because they're being. I mean, the movie Kimmy got brought up today, and it is a movie about a woman dealing with anxiety and around COVID and like not wanting to leave her house because she's afraid of getting sick because of COVID. And that's, it's about a lot more than that, but it is so specifically by people living in 2020 for people living in 2020. That being said, like, I think it will have legs outside of it, but like it won't, I don't think some of that will translate super well 30 years from now. And I think that's a lot to do with like why some people can't get on board with black and white movies is like, because they're about people who lived 50, 60, 70 years ago. And they're just like not, well, it's honestly way longer than 50, 60, like 70, 80 years ago. And they are just like not, they don't have whatever it is. They just can't like connect with them in the same way just because they're living in a different time. And I think the thought process would be like, oh, well, if it's in color, they can get it. It's like, no, like Miracle on 34th Street doesn't need to be in color for you to still be able to engage with it because it's about things that are so timeless. Even things that we're still plaguing us today, like consumerism and capitalism. Like those things are still like issues and problems that are very alive today, and it's still incredibly funny and like apropos for today.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah, like it's just interesting because it is funny to think of a movie getting a remake and hurting its legacy.
Right.
Because normally that kind of draws people to the idea of an original, but I think you're completely right in that it hurts it.
Right.
And the colorized version being another weird thing where if somebody finds it, the colorized versions just never kind of work out ever. Like, I'm sure there are good ones, but at the same time, I'm just like, just watch the black and white one.
Watch the
Like,
black and white one. It's like
cares?
it never looks right. It doesn't add anything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously it adds color, but like,
but it looks like.
but that movie
glitched
was
and
shot
kinda-
in black and white because that was what they had.
Yeah.
And so decisions were made, contrast, and all these kinds of filmmaking.
Oh yeah,
decisions.
shooting for black and white's very different than shooting for color.
Right.
Like that's a big thing people don't realize. Like it's hard to wrap your head around where you're like, well, you just put the black and white filter on. It's like, well, no, shadows look better in black and white a certain way.
Right.
Like you want to deepen those blacks and you want to have harder shadows and like things like that.
Yeah.
Versus being able to see someone's eyes in the same way, like see the glint and the light leaks and beams and stuff where it plays different one way or the other.
Yeah.
And you have to know that to expose for that, to plan the lighting for that. It's all built in together. And you're right. The colorized versions don't look right because it wasn't shot with seeing the color red or, you know what I mean? Whatever it is.
Yeah. And we talked about this, the only exception that I think could be made is like colorizing and digitizing like news footage and
we
things
talked
like
about
that.
the Peter Jackson They Shall Not Grow Old documentary.
Yeah. That one is completely different in my eyes because that is not like that footage was not meant that was not exposed for cinematic purposes. It was created to capture an incredibly important moment in time, and by like colorizing it, adding sound, doing all these things to like bring it into the 21st century, it makes it more real for the people who weren't there. Like, no,
because it's the same thing that still happens today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
These
like,
people were here. They lived through this and died because of it. Like that is like a completely separate issue in my eyes.
Yeah,
where it's
no,
like,
completely.
And an honorable one, a very, very honorable one to like bring the legacy of these people. It's like as a society, we're still caught in this kind of post World War II world where it's like every war before that almost like doesn't feel as important, but hundreds of thousands, if not millions, depending on what it is, people died. Like people, hundreds of thousands of people died in these wars, and like we're not as focused on those because it isn't the most recent one that we think about. You know what I mean?
No. I make the Christmas movie in color.
We're definitely going in deep on colorizing footage. But yeah, I think now this is just conjecture. I haven't seen the 90s version, so it's like maybe like I can't imagine like as long as they didn't like super change a bunch of stuff, it'll still probably be pretty good.
Well, here's what I bring up to you. Then the original's like 96 minutes. The remake's like almost 2 hours. So they
really?
add 20 minutes of something to it, which feels to me either you're dragging stuff out or you are adding plot points and stuff to lengthen it, which is funny because you know what everyone complains about nowadays? The pictures are too long.
Right. Yeah.
Smash cut to Avatar: The Way of Water being 3 hours long.
Yeah, no kidding. Go watch this movie. It's
Go
so
watch
good.
this
If you want to
movie.
feel some Yuletide cheer, go and get it from,
Again, that
from your
is
boy.
a threat. He's not. That's not.
You better be feeling some Yuletide cheer. I tell you what. It better be on your frickin' Christmas list from here on out.
I will definitely watch it again. Like it'll definitely be one around the Christmas times that
a good one.
I feel like I want to throw on and just feel good.
And it's like every year it's streamable.
Yeah,
Like it's either
I
on
think it's just
HBO
permanently
or
on
it is now
Disney
I think.
Plus.
It's like before that it was on HBO. Before that it was like it's like infinitely streamable. But I don't think a lot of people watch it, even though they should.
They should.
Yep.
You should.
Yep. Let's just jump on into the B segment. I want to kind of do two different things. This one's gonna be a little looser. I don't have as like strong of a. I don't have like a specific game I want to play. I just want to talk about Christmas movies. So give me some of your favorite Christmas movies.
Die Hard. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. I don't know if Die Hard 2 is a Christmas movie. No, legitimately though, Die Hard is, I'll die on the hill of it's a Christmas movie. It's about a man trying to make right by his family and spend time with them.
Yeah.
It literally ends with it snowing. Now that snow is paper from a building that blew up, but it's snowing.
Like, I think, like, I agree. I think that movie, more than many others that are a part of this conversation, I think that movie's a Christmas movie because, like, Christmas is central to the plot.
Yes.
Not just a scene, it is central to the entire plot. And that being said, like, Christmas is woven throughout the entire thing, whether it is the score with the sleigh bells, if it's the like imagery, like, you know, them wearing the hats, like, I've got a gun now,
now I have a machine gun, ho ho.
Or it's literally just about a man trying to get back to his family for Christmas. Like that, I think, and realizing what's important, like realizing that family is important through adversity around Christmas.
Die Hard's my one and only. I'll watch this every year. I don't even care. Like, I just also love that movie.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life. We talked about that a bunch. Like, I will.
Let's talk about it more. No, I'm just kidding.
I could. I'd say that scene. There's so many scenes in that movie that make me legitimately cry. And it's interesting when we think of, because you and I talked about this, like, most emotional scenes in kind of recent movies, like where we really were hit by them. And I think my brain, at least, always goes sad in those moments. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Are you that way? Like, do you immediately go, "Oh, this was sad and it made me cry," or it was somber in some way? Usually, when I think of most emotional, I think of made me cry. But I think it's because I cry when I'm sad more than I cry when I'm happy.
Yeah.
Versus something like, and to evoke the name of a very, very heavy movie, but Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Schindler's List, so much of what made me cry, and that is the profound acts of good that are attempted to be carried out and successfully or not successfully done. Like, so much of that movie is me crying it. I mean, this is a 3.5 hour movie or something, and I cry for like 2/3 of it, right? Like, Schindler's List is incredibly heavy, but when I think of the scene that made me cry the most, it's really a profound act of good and kindness that's what's making me cry. It's a Wonderful Life is that to a T.
Yeah.
Every one of the beautiful moments is what makes me bawl, you know? And I love that about that. So It's a Wonderful Life. Again, watch that movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, Elf. I watch Elf usually every year. That ends up getting put on. Growing up, I loved Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas.
Really?
It's like a little animated 3 not short films, but 3 like 20-minute shorts making up one like 80-minute movie or whatever.
Yeah.
I watch that usually every year. And then there's Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, which came out that one's like 3D animated, and I don't remember it as well.
Yeah.
But check those out. They're real sweet and fun. And I legitimately think Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas is probably good. Like, I haven't watched the last 2 years, I don't think. But like, I always really liked it. It's always very heartfelt, and I like all 3 of the stories. Like, anyway, good one. Check that out. Growing up, I loved, not to evoke the name of Tim Allen again, but I loved the Santa Claus movies, and haven't seen them in 7 years. Have no idea if I'll like them anymore.
I have never liked those movies.
I think there's an argument that the first one might be a pretty good little Disney Christmas romp, and then after that they get weird, and there's apparently a series on Disney Plus now.
Oh, is it a series?
It's a series. Whatever. There's one I will save because it's going to be my recommendation. We'll talk about that at the recommendation moment. But yeah, those are really the ones for me that I think of. Elf. I mean, The Polar Express is obviously a weirdly controversial movie, but growing up, I saw it several times at weird points in my life.
Yeah, that one. I think this is my review on Letterboxd, and I think it is how I feel about that movie. It's like, I think Martin Scorsese said, like, Marvel movies aren't cinema; they're like theme park rides. And I think Polar Express is a theme park ride in the like worst way, where it's like there's like these weird extended action sequences that kind of go nowhere for no reason, and are like just like they're like literally it feels like they were setting up a Universal Studios ride, because there's like all of these like so many of them are like in first person, and like I don't know, man, and the what is it? The like performance captures like weird and like early 2000s janky. Like I don't know, man, that movie because I remember liking it as a kid, and then I watched it like recently, and I was like, man, this movie has not aged well. That movie just does not work.
I
for me
haven't
the
seen
same
it
way.
in 10 years. You know what I mean? Like,
Watch it again. It's incredibly weird. It is a weird experience.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact, I think it's fun that Tom Hanks plays like every other character, including the kid. Like literally, he does the performance capture for the kid, except for like the face and voice. He does the body performance for the kid. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Like, I think that's fun. Like, there's parts of it that I like, and there's like I like certain choices that they made with the look. Just the performance capture just is weird. In certain spots.
Robert Zemeckis definitely likes his toys.
Yeah. But the funny thing though is I think Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol, like that one, which is another Robert Zemeckis, I think that one works way better for me.
I haven't seen it.
I like that one. That I honestly, it's like I would recommend watching it at least just to like compare and contrast, like how like the difference between Polar Express and A Christmas Carol, because I think Polar Express tries to go a little more photorealistic with the CG than A Christmas Carol does. It's a little bit more like animated and fun, and so I think it works infinitely better.
Okay.
I also think the script for A Christmas Carol is like actually pretty good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I need to watch that one. I think my parents own it on DVD, and I've never seen it.
I can't remember. I think my parents definitely own it on DVD.
Yeah,
Whether
on DVD.
on DVD. What else? What are some other Christmas movies that you like?
Bah Humbug. That's it. That's all I got. Christmas
Literally?
movie. I'm sure I could like deep cut find some stuff that I've watched before, but like, yeah, I just kind of
Yeah.
crib myself.
Oh, Happiest Season.
That's my fucking recommendation, dude.
Oh no!
Fuck you.
Oh, I completely forgot.
I'm
so
cutting
sorry.
this. Move on.
Yeah, for me, like I've already mentioned several. Like I think, both. I think both Grinches are both. I have not seen Illumination, the Grinch. I haven't seen that.
Oh,
one.
the Grinch movies I watched a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
not
the
the
Grinch Stole
Illumination
Christmas
one.
are like.
Yeah.
But I like them both. I love the original animated, and I really, really like the Jim Carrey version.
Yeah.
It's like, like we mentioned earlier, like, it's weird. And there's like some of the CG and stuff hasn't aged well at all. But Jim Carrey's performance is like so fun. And this is a hill I will fight and die on. Freaking, he is doing a Jimmy Stewart impression with his Grinch voice. He is doing Jimmy Stewart. Watch It's a Wonderful Life, and then watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and tell me there is not some Jimmy Stewart in that voice.
I'll watch it again. That's a funny idea. I've never thought that.
Do you feel that at
I've
all?
never thought that.
There's like, it's not everything. It's not everything he says, but there are certain things that he says that sound just like Jimmy Stewart to me. And it's like, I think is a super fun and super interesting choice. If that is a real, if I'm not just like headcanoning that, I think
Let's
that's a
just
super
call
fun
up Ron Howard and ask him.
Hey,
what they're
Ronnie.
talking- Ronnie boy.
Ronnie boy, how you doing?
How was your tenure on Arrested Development? Is that pretty good? Okay.
Literally. What's his brother's name?
What's up with Solo, a Star Wars story? What happened with
Hey,
that
what
one?
happened with that? Ronnie. Hey,
Ronnie,
between
Ronnie.
friends, what happened with that?
You,
one?
me, between us. Phil
us.
Lord and Chris Miller would have made it better, right?
What
Is that
made it
what we're
better,
saying?
right? Don't you
Who
say-
knows?
Do you agree or not agree that Phil Lord and Chris Miller good?
Ron Howard just admits it to us.
Yeah, man. I really could have done a lot better on that one, boys.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I said, like the another Christmas movie that I kind of can't stand is Frosty the Snowman. That movie's weird. That's a weird movie.
Is that the Michael Keaton one?
No, that's Jack Frost.
Okay.
And that's a very different movie. Yeah. No, it's like I think it might have even been animated by Rankin Bass, if I'm not mistaken. It's a weird one. It's like
I weirdly think. Sorry, I weirdly think of Star Wars movies though as Christmas movies.
Why?
They're not Christmas movies, but they're movies I always end up watching around Christmas. And part of it's because they started like the new ones started coming out in December.
Right.
And so I would just watch them again. So it's weird every December. I'm kind of like, do I want to watch Star Wars?
That makes sense to me.
Because like Harry Potter's the same way for a lot of people where Harry Potter's a Christmas time movie.
Is Harry Potter a Christmas movie?
No, but
Right.
there's Christmas in almost all of them.
Right. There's like a Christmas scene in all of
No,
them.
but it's just the mood and it's the same way that like Knives Out is kind of a Thanksgiving movie just because of the vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For Star Wars is not, but Harry Potter, I think for a lot of people, it's just kind of the vibes is Christmassy and rainy day vibes.
Right.
Star Wars, I have no excuse. I just for some reason
I like your reasoning for it though. It's like the fact that they came out, the new ones were coming out around Christmas, which makes a lot of sense. That's a good. Like,
so I would start watching or do rewatches around Christmas
Yeah.
every like 2 years or whatever.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. So now my brain's always like, it's December, Star Wars. Oh no, hence the sweater.
Like just sparks start coming out.
Yeah.
of your It's Star Wars time.
Okay, whoa, sorry. What was everyone talking about? The Last Jedi.
Hey. So Harry Potter, not a Christmas movie, guys. That's not a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie.
Just because there's a Christmas scene doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
Not a Christmas movie.
Die
But
Hard, Christmas movie. That's
Christmas
a Christmas movie. What are
what
some?
are we just gonna keep naming these? The Mummy, not a Christmas movie.
We're just gonna name any movie.
Mad Max Fury Road, not a Christmas movie.
Yojimbo, not a Christmas movie.
He's reading my criterions.
Sanjuro, not a Christmas movie.
Do I have one that is?
Do the Right Thing, not a Christmas movie. Weirdly enough, I know, right? Paths of Glory, kind of a Christmas, not a Christmas movie. On the Waterfront,
Paths of Glory is a Christmas movie.
it's the glory of Christmas.
You haven't seen that movie? I'm going to tell you straight up.
And the
Nope.
paths are the friends we made along the,
Paths
way.
are the march to the execution of innocent men.
Yeah, the paths were the friends we made along the way.
Okay.
And the glory is the glory of Christmas. Fantastic Mr. Fox is a Thanksgiving movie.
It's a Thanksgiving movie.
That's a Thanksgiving movie. I feel like almost all of Wes Anderson's
Wessie Boys.
are Thanksgiving movies.
I agree with that. He has a weird vibe where it's just like these are Thanksgiving
There's
movies.
so much about family, and there's something about Thanksgiving and family, especially like family issues.
Yeah.
Like where that comes bubbling up, especially like taking place, like the fact that it's in November, usually after elections. Like,
Yeah.
and it's about like deep
Hey,
seated
so
family
who'd you
issues.
vote for in recent election?
Yeah, it's like,
And then
let's have a big
everyone's-
fight, shall we? Lethal Weapon.
Christmas movie. I don't remember. I've seen all of them once, like years ago.
It's like, I think Shane Black is the king of making a movie set during Christmas that has nothing, that is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, he just likes the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, not a Christmas movie. It's like it barely even references Christmas.
It's kind of just at the beginning.
It's like, and we were watching a video earlier where a dude was talking about his top 10 Christmas movies. He's like, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I was like, that is not a Christmas movie. Watching it during Christmas, I can understand. That doesn't make it a Christmas movie, right?
I agree with that for the most. Well, I mean, it just depends. Like every time, is Spencer a Christmas movie? Not me, the person. The
Right.
movie with Kristen Stewart.
Like, no, because it's like not about Christmas. Like it's about,
Isn't it? It's about getting together with the families, not being able to leave, and being tortured by that.
Yeah, there is nothing more Christmas than torture. That's what Christmas is really about, ladies and gentlemen. Torture. I mean, for some
He's
people,
joking, but
for some people, it really is. But
yeah,
I mean, like, you make a decent argument with Spencer. You could make the argument that it is a Christmas movie more so than like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
yeah. I'm just bringing it up just because I watched it recently.
Damn, is Spencer a Christmas movie?
Spencer's a Christmas movie.
Oh my god.
Spencer's a Christmas movie,
Because
baby.
it's like it takes place during Christmas,
at a holiday for the royal family.
and it's a like it could not have happened. Like the plot is
Intrinsic to Christmas,
Yeah,
and so
it's
much
not
of
just
it,
a Christmas
so
scene.
much of it is also takes place with the idea that they do Christmas on Christmas Eve to be because Santa loves the royals more than the peasants,
yeah.
and so then it's like that added feeling of abnormality around Christmas where they just want to be normal.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Holy shit. Spencer's a Christmas movie.
I unlocked something he didn't know he had.
I did not realize this. I'm going to watch it again because that was like one of my favorite movies of last year.
It's one of the prettiest movies ever.
That, like, I was going in expecting one thing and it was not that.
You weren't
at
expecting
all.
a psychological horror movie?
Yeah. Like, I was not expecting it to be a thriller. Like,
Yeah.
and that movie is so gorgeous. Kristen Stewart is
revelation.
phenomenal in that movie. She got so snubbed. Like that movie is absolutely phenomenal. That was like I said, that was like one of my favorite movies of last year.
So good.
Yeah, that movie.
And it's a Christmas movie.
Another underrated Christmas movie, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. What are some other not Christmas movies? Okay, here's my question.
Yes, the Fast and Furious movies are Christmas movies.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I don't want to have this discussion.
We're having it. Nightmare Before Christmas.
I haven't seen it in a long time. It's
Really?
not a Thanksgiving movie.
Whoa. Thank you for trampling over my argument.
I wanted to get ahead of it. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay. It is a Thanksgiving movie. And here's why. It's too Christmas to be a Halloween movie. It is too Halloween to be a Christmas movie. What takes place directly in between those two holidays? Thanksgiving. And it's about being thankful for who you are and the people around you. Fuck you. It's a Thanksgiving movie.
If I agree, can we stop?
Okay, can you at least do you understand where
Your
I'm coming from?
argument is funny. I'll give you this much. It is both a Halloween and a Christmas movie. It is not, because it is not 100% this or 100% that doesn't make it a movie I watch it. I will never watch that movie at Thanksgiving. I will watch it at Halloween and I will watch it at Christmas. I will never watch it
All
during
right.
Thanksgiving.
The only reason I watch it every year on Halloween is not because it's my choice. It is my wife's choice, because she was born on Halloween, and that movie starts with "This is Halloween. This is Halloween,"
Yeah.
and she wants to start every Halloween with that. And so I oblige her because I love her, and I do think that's really fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'd be watching that shit on Thanksgiving.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
I hate that you're not even remotely playing ball with me.
We've had this discussion off mic too
And
many
now let's
times.
have it on mic, damn it. I could survive Jumanji.
We're not having that one. No, I veto.
Is Jumanji a Christmas movie?
You know what? There's actually Christmas scenes in Jumanji.
There are Christmas scenes in Jumanji. Holy shit. Is Jumanji
Jumanji's
a Christmas movie?
baby.
You found it. You heard it here first, folks.
We're actually
You heard it here first, folks. Jumanji is a Christmas movie.
thumbnail. No, funnily enough, we're also seeing Violent Night the day after we record this.
I am so
I'm
excited
so
for that
jazzed,
movie.
dude. Like, it's gonna watch this. Check our letterbox. We'll both write a review. We're committed to write some kind of review for this.
Yes, I love it. Thank you. Genius. You're a genius. Toss it to the letterbox. I love this cross promotion. You are a businessman if I've ever heard.
Yes, businessman wearing a stormtrooper sweater with the Christmas hat, businessly tucked to the side. Businessly tucked to the side.
All right, I found a list of the 25 best Christmas movies that aren't technically Christmas movies. The Thin Man. I've never even heard of this one, so I'm going to skip it. You've Got Mail. Spencer hasn't seen it. It will be an episode. I'm like, I understand. Like, I don't even think there is a scene that takes place during Christmas, but it is like not super Christmassy. Like, if this is not a Christmas movie, but I do understand why it's on this list, and you will see why when you see it. Never heard of that movie. Iron Man 3. Is that a Christmas movie?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No. But
I haven't seen it in a long time, so
Look-
you could say anything and I'll believe you.
look, it is a bunch of it have to do with Christmas. Yeah, he's got the Christmas gift. There's all talk about it throughout, but really it feels, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's Shane Black, so it is, but no.
Yeah, the next, there are several on here that are Shane Black movies, including The Long Kiss Goodnight, which I've seen pieces of it. I don't remember if it is. Gremlins.
Gremlins is a Christmas movie, dude.
Is it a Christmas movie?
It's a Christmas movie for the spooky boys. You know
It's
what I mean?
spooky Christmas movie. I mean, there's also Krampus, and
Yeah.
I really want to watch Krampus. I don't know why. I don't know if it's actually
There
good or
has to
not.
be a bunch of versions of that movie.
I
though.
have to imagine.
Yeah.
I have to imagine there's some good spooky. Edward Scissorhands.
Never seen it.
I haven't seen it in a long time. There's a lot of snow in that movie. I remember that.
And that's what really makes the difference. Wind River, Christmas movie.
There's a lot of snow in that. The snow is an important element in that movie, so you know it's a Christmas movie because of it.
Okay.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That is like
See last week's episode.
of all of his like, is it a Christmas movie? Christmas movies. That is like the thinnest. It's like they mentioned Christmas once,
Yeah.
and like she is wearing that like Christmas costume, like, and that's like it.
Yeah.
Like there is very little Christmas in that Christmas movie. Babe.
Never seen Babe.
You've never seen Babe? Like, do you just not remember it, or have you like never seen it?
I'm sure I've seen pieces of it. I've never seen it all the way through.
I know I've seen it all the way through, but I haven't seen it since I was a child.
Yeah.
This is not as going as well as I was hoping it would. Batman Returns.
This is an interesting conversation. And as the podcast resident Batman fan, yes, just for fun. Yes.
Just to be spicy. Little Women. I think that's another one. I don't know. There's a lot of.
I think Little Women transcends Christmas movie and is a movie you should watch every day of every year forever.
I agree with that.
Best movie. Little Women best movie.
Little Women best movie. I do think it like kind of transcends Christmas.
Yes.
Like I don't think like it is a Christmas movie. I think it transcends. It's like yes, there's Christmas is a part of it.
Well, but see, I would argue that like the entire like fall to winter season, it feels like the time. I always describe that movie as a cozy, warm blanket.
Yes.
And so anytime it's cold or rainy out, I'm like, Little Women time. Yeah. And I watch, this is by the way, the Greta Gerwig one, right? Like that's what we're both referencing. This may
like,
be referencing
this one
something
is
else.
referencing the different one.
But the Greta Gerwig one is the one, the masterpiece version. So
Yeah.
like that's always going to be what I think of.
Have you seen the other one?
No.
Neither have I. So I don't want to disrespect the other one and say that one is.
I think the massive general consensus
would-
is that the Greta Gerwig one transcends all of them.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
That being said, Christian Bale is Laura.
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder.
When Winona rided into Little Women town and was
Winona Ryder. I hardly know her. Hey, all right, I'll stop. Steel Magnolias. Now, you haven't seen the movie. You have seen it live on stage. The Steel Magnolias will be an episode of the podcast with my wife.
Yes.
Based on like the movie.
Based on my perception of it from the play, no.
Yeah.
But the movie may be different. It has Christmas in it.
The movie is very similar to the play. Like it is like they add some stuff. There's some additions.
Yeah, but
to
then
it.
I think that scene isn't even really about Christmas. It's about something so entirely different. It just the framing device is
it just happens
Christmas.
during
Yeah.
Christmas. The Sound of Music.
No.
Really?
No. Sound of Music's great, but no.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
That's another one of those weird ones that like feels like a thing I should
'Cause there's
watch
a
at Christmas
bunch
time.
of snow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you get it.
And James McAvoy without a shirt on, so that makes it Christmas to me.
Hey Shane, can you finish the podcast alone? I need to go do some research.
Trading Places.
Never seen it.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, I'm pretty sure that one's on the list. That one's a Christmas movie. Damn it, that one's a Christmas movie. That one's a Christmas movie. We love it.
All right, The Lighthouse. I'm kidding.
Eyes Wide Shut. Like, no, that movie. There's no time of year where you should watch that movie.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
All right.
No, it's not a Christmas movie, but it is a movie that you should watch at Christmas just to ruin your Christmas.
Yeah, just to make you feel weird about everything.
That movie's wild.
That movie is incredibly weird.
Everyone tells me to look at it like it's a comedy, but I don't know.
Rocky IV.
Rocky IV is the Christmas movie. Don't you even say nothing. Don't you even look at me. He fights a Russian on the Christmas day, I tell you.
That's
Christmas
all I need
movie.
to hear.
Christmas movie.
Reindeer Games. Skip.
The Deer Hunter.
Hey, he's got the word deer in it. Reindeer, deer, hunter, same
deer,
thing.
you see what I'm saying?
Lethal Weapon. Like of the Shane
Yes
Black,
and no.
Of the Shane Black movies, other than maybe like Iron Man 3, I think
It's maybe the most, I would say.
Yeah, probably more than like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang or The Long Kiss Goodnight. Less than I think Iron Man. I think Iron Man 3 has a little bit more Christmas in it.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this one. It's a Chuck Norris movie called Invasion USA. Chuck Norris battles Latin American guerrillas attacking Christmas shoppers in Invasion USA, a movie that could not be set anywhere else but in the state of Florida. Yes, it's literally a war on Christmas. All right. So Invasion USA is a Christmas movie. You heard it here. You heard it on yardbarker.com.
Don't give other people credit on our podcast.
I'll never do it again. I will only steal other people's work and claim it as my own.
I directed Miracle on 34th Street from 1947.
And I directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I made a lot of bad choices. I was in a weird time.
When you make every movie known to man, you're bound to make a couple weird choices.
I just got broken up with by a dude named Perry, and I wanted him to pay. What can I say? Anyways, so do we want to do things we learned about Miracle on 34th Street?
I learned to be less cynical.
Did you actually?
No, but I just had to give you some. No, sometimes a movie is just about a thing and it works completely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of my takeaway from it is like it's just like the quintessential of Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, like, it is like Christmas distilled to its purest and most potent form.
Yeah.
Like, this thing will get you high off your ass on Christmas.
Yeah.
This is the blue meth of Christmas. This is top tier stuff right here. I completely agree with that. I completely believe that. I think that is exactly my thoughts.
You believe Miracle on 34th Street is the blue meth of Christmas movies?
I'm literally changing my review to say that. Like, I'm literally writing that on Letterboxd.
You just have to go watch it again and then do it.
Yeah. Oh.
And then watch it a couple times after that.
I can tell you confidently, I will be watching it this year on Christmas Eve.
No, wonderful.
Because that's what we're going to watch it again. Like, we watch it every year with my family. So
awesome.
I'll be watching it on Christmas Eve. Yeah, for me, it's like I don't have any, like, again, like, it's so, like, intrinsic to, like, it's like both, like, I've seen it so many times, so I pull so many new things, but at the same time, it's like almost gone past, like, critique for me, like, a little bit, where it's like I can't, like, see it for what it is, all that, to a certain extent. So it's like, I mean, it's just like it's just good, damn it. I just love that movie. I don't even have a good thing to say here.
Yeah.
Let's move on in recommendations.
Recommendations.
So I kind of trampled on yours a little bit.
Yeah, screw you, and you hate me. I get it. There's this movie with Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis that came out like 2 years ago. It's called Happiest Season. I really like that movie. It's a little Hallmarky. It's a little cheesy, but I think it goes real honest places.
I completely agree.
And I know some people aren't as into it, whatever. I really like the movie. It's kind of, I've watched it the last 2 years in a row. I'm going to watch it again this year just because I like it so much. So yeah, Happiest Season. I believe it's a Hulu original.
I believe so too.
Check that out. It's really good. It's fun to see Kristen Stewart stretch some of those different muscles.
Yeah,
you're so used to seeing her play a weirdo, which is, by the way, she does it better than anybody.
I don't think people give her credit enough as an actress. I think she was like so pinholed in the Twilight thing for so long.
Which, by the way, she's brilliant in Twilight. Go back, rewatch those, and you'll see.
I think I really think she gets kind of like, I don't think she gets enough credit for how much range she actually
since
has.
we're here and we're talking about, as we talked about Spencer
Do
a
it.
bunch, talking about this one. There's this other movie that no one has seen called Personal Shopper with Kristen Stewart. It's in the Criterion Collection, so you know it's quality. This is a great one. It's really weird. It's a ghost story, but it's like not at all what you would think a ghost story. This is my other recommendation. So anti-Christmas. I don't know why I'm doing it, but Kristen Stewart is brilliant in it. Watch this movie and Happiest Season for the weirdest double feature of your entire life.
And for me, I am going to be recommending a Christmas album of music.
You listen to music?
Yeah, it's my first time. I just listened to this yesterday, and it was the first time I'm hearing music, and I love it. Anyways, it is a Christmas album called Holidays Rule. It is an album of like indie folk and pop and a bunch of other artists like coming together and like their takes on certain Christmas songs. And it has some of the legitimately the best Christmas renditions ever, in my opinion. Highlights include Paul McCartney doing the Christmas song, so like Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. Like that one of my favorite Christmas songs ever.
He's
is that.
roasting what's on the open fire.
Other additions include like The Shins, Rufus Wainwright, Sharon Van Etten, Black Prairies, The Civil Wars, Heartless Bastards, Fruit Bats, Punch Brothers, The Head and the Heart, Andrew Bird. Like it is so good, bangers front to back. Like literally some of like my favorite versions of these Christmas songs are on this album. So if you like Christmas music even a little, like I highly recommend it. It is like actually good. Like honestly, like literally my favorite versions of a lot of those songs are from that record. There's like, I'm pretty sure there's like a Holidays Rule 2 that like that, or I don't remember how they named it, but they did another version that I think is also incredibly good and also worth watching. So, or worth watching, worth listening to. And so if you like Christmas music at all and you're a little bit more in like the indie, like folk and that kind of thing, incredibly good. And I highly recommend that album.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
Lots of stuff.
So yeah, lots of stuff to watch, lots of stuff to listen to. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. As I like to say, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
To our one listener, we love you.
This one goes out to you, Jerry. You know who you are.
Wait, Jerry?
Jerry.
Dude, our one listener's name is Bob.
Wait, do we have two listeners? We have two listeners. Bob, Jerry. Yeah. Bob and Jerry, this goes out to you. Anyways, we gave you a lot of stuff to watch, a lot of stuff to listen to. So go out and watch it, listen to it, or don't. I don't know. I don't care. Leave it.